Kept you waiting, huh? Hello! We have a new ban list, 26.03. This is an exciting time. I am super hyped for this one. This is a lengthy lad, and there is a lot of borderline seismic stuff here in the lead up to Vantage Point coming out. It has been a minute. Let's see if I remember how to do this. These slides are going to be in a different order than the list itself, and I have reasons for that. A lot of these unbans are a direct result of the ban decisions. Like, they're very much intertwined, and I'm allergic to burying leads, so I'm just going to kind of address them as pairs, talk about how the cards are intertwined with each other. It seems like the way to go. We're still going to do the 2 corp bans at the end, because those are kind of independent of the rest of the list, and frankly, I think that they're the less important bit of the thing, which means that this is just going to get less exciting as we go on. You know, start on a high and end on a nothing. That's the way you tell stories, right? In summary, I like this ban list a lot. I really do. I think this is one of the most interesting and meta-shifting ban lists we've had in a long, long time. My only concern is that I think this is a lot of runner power to put out there all at once. This is a very runner-sided ban list here, and I'm not sure it's going to stay this way. I think there are things in here that might not actually stick. We'll get into it. Starting with Hoshiko's gone. DreamNet's back. More importantly, Hoshiko's gone. Well. Look who finally had it too good for too long. Hey now, the dream is over. Wake up, it's time to go to work. Sorry, Hoshiko. Put the fries in the bag. They say VTubers don't quit, they graduate, so I'm just gonna say that I hope Hosh has as much fun in the job market as we all have playing against her for years. Bye! Outta here. Anyway, no, for real though, Hosh has been a constraint on runner design space since the day she was printed. Hosh has always done too much. Far too much value to be able to reliably just have on tap all the time forever. I have never understood why Hosh was allowed to just keep rolling unabated, and apparently NSG finally decided, you know what, yeah, it didn't work out. At the start of Elevation, I called out that Topon really couldn't exist as long as Hosh did, and yeah, here we are. Get ready to sleeve up those Topons, buddy. Also, get ready to probably still be disappointed. Sorry, Aksu. Yeah, you're probably just going to play Lu, or, I don't know, Seb, who's very good, or, you know, basically anybody. S is very much their own thing. That's not really comparable, but I feel like you can still play Reg Anarch just fine. You're not gonna get free value anymore. Oh, darn. Jeez. No, this was a long time coming to the point where I wasn't sure it was even gonna happen. Now it's here. I'm very happy about it. With the de-emphasis of Link from the overall game, I'm not convinced DreamNet is really going to present much of a problem, or even see wide play. Even though this is one of the only remaining sources now, or returned, I guess, sources of permanent drip econ, Rizeki this is not. This is a card that does a very nice thing, but there aren't a lot of ways to cheat it out, and then it's going to give you 1 per turn in a game that still feels pretty short. We'll see if Vantage Points games end up feeling longer. From what we have seen, I'm not really sure either way, to be honest. It's really hard to judge off of an incomplete card pool. But DreamNet's very slow, and I don't think that giving it back to a field that looks like this is going to be much of an issue. That said, I'm absolutely including DreamNet in my Vic decks before I eventually decide it's just too slow and expensive. But for now, please, let me have this meme. So Sable's gone too. That's weird, right? Like, Sable's just not here anymore. Again, this was one that really shouldn't shock anybody. Also, obviously, with Sable going, Info Bounty comes back. Those were very much a one or the other kind of thing, and they determined that this was the way to do it. I get it. I get it. I told you Sable was a problem at the start of Elevation, and here we are. As a matter of fact, it was Hosh in the 2 slot and Sable in the 1 slot, and I was like, hey, I think Sable is, like, fundamentally too strong. And despite my crim bias, I can recognize that, like, you can't really balance an extra click very easily. It's just too much power to have on an ID. 5-click runner is absurdly strong. What are you gonna do? Bit of a shame, But hey, you know, it is what it is. I love Sable, I'll miss her, but I'm not, like, remotely bothered by this. Crimson, a great spot for value IDs. We also have cool niche things like Baz, right? Mercury is super weird if you want an SS style experience, and blue. We're gonna be fine. Like, Musliat is cool, Zaya is cool. We're in good hands. I highly doubt that anybody's going to be rushing to include a mark card that isn't Carpe Diem, and Carpe Diem may as well not be a mark card. That card is basically, here's an easy mark with an occasional run on it, and if you manage to cheat it out, it becomes a sure gamble. Like, that's just a great card. It's the only mark card that really feels like it matters, because the mark is the least important part of the entire thing. Info Bounty, by contrast, is a security testing that you have to pay for and randomly picks its server from the 3 that are most likely to be defended, minus a scoring remote. I would be shocked if this actually ends up seeing play too many places at this point without the additional incentive of Sable. So, we got it back, but it's not really going to matter all that much, I don't think. Wait, what? When I read this on the list, my eyes turned into dinner plates. I was bugging. Are you serious? This ban list is bonkers, dog. Holy shit. I could not believe it. I have so many thoughts to say about Deep Dive. Deep Dive's back. And this has a very long list of implications and consequences. I'm genuinely astounded by this. So, on one hand, I'm overjoyed to have one of the most entertaining runner win cons NSG has ever printed back in play. This is super rad. Like, Deep Dive is hype. I love the moment of hitting a Deep Dive and flopping a bunch of stuff and having both sides of the table biting their nails. Like, it's an incredibly cool thing. Deep Dive is legitimately awesome. On the other hand, if any decision on this ban list gets undone, it's gonna be this one. Deep Dive is so strong. It's so strong, and it's strong in ways that are really easy to let get out of hand, especially in the pre-vantage point card pool. Now, it remains to be seen what all is in all of VP, but Deep Dive's really good. Shaper win cons have a tendency to not be as interactive as I'd like, and Deep Dive, even out of the green IDs where it's less effective than the likes of Sable, still sees you reliably winning on fewer runs than I'd consider healthy. Like, the fact of the matter is, a loaded Deep Dive can easily get you, like, 5 points. That's not an unrealistic thing to have happen. And that means that, hey, you made 3 runs and scored most of your points for the game. If you do it again, it's over. And you can do literally everything else without interacting with the corpse board at all. That's a lot. Like, that is an absurd amount of power to have packed into one card. And yeah, it's not the cheapest thing to be able to do, but, like, can the corp even res all of the ice that they've got? How much did they even put out there? Like, I don't need to litigate or relitigate Deep Dive and why it's so good. I think everybody knows that this is a, like, meta-defining, archetypal sort of thing. I just don't think that it's going to be sustainable in the long term, because the more solid tools you give green or, you know, make easily importable, the more powerful Deep Dive gets. This is the closest to mass multi-access Shaper is currently allowed to have beyond Conduit, and there's no world in which anyone's going to play Conduit over this. People are playing Cataloger over Conduit. Like, Deep Dive is wild, and the commitment you need to be able to play it is surprisingly minimal. Yeah, there may be some upcoming Vantage Point spoilers that reveal another Shaper win con. Maybe. I say that like I know what it is. I legitimately don't know. That's an act. I'm not being coy. I actually just don't know. But it's gonna have to be a hell of a thing to be able to compete with this one. I would be shocked if that actually worked out. So yeah, I mean, it's Deep Dive. We love Deep Dive. You know it. You might love it. I don't know how everybody feels about Deep Dive. I think it's sick, but again, my big thing is I'm ready to give it back up, depending on how things go. Now we kind of begin, like, the downslope into coming down from the hypest part of the list, because we're going to talk about daily casts. Is this an awkward time to confess I've never liked this card? So, my thing with daily casts is that I do not find the way in which it gives you 5 credits to be interesting or exciting or fun. It is a, like, fundamental, solid piece of econ, but it is so incredibly unexciting that I just don't just don't like it. I never have. However, this particular card returning is significant because it means that NSG believes runners will need more easily accessible money in the Vantage Point card pool, but crucially, not fast money. This is neutral, slow-paced money. It comes in when it comes in. It takes 4 turns to pay you 5 credits, and it costs money up front. So I think it's a really interesting thing to give back now. Given that we only know a little bit of the VP card pool, I think this will be... It's something that you want to keep an eye on as kind of like a, hey, why did they give us this, right? Like, what does that actually mean? I don't know the answer to that yet, but I think it's going to be really interesting. Or alternatively, it could be simpler than that, and this could just be back because the 2 biggest value runners are dead. Like, that's fine too. If this was being held back by the fact that 2 of the most played runners were just, like, so wildly efficient that they didn't need the extra cash infusion, yeah, alright, that actually makes a lot of sense. I don't think this coming back is going to do any notable harm. Runners are replete with ways to make 4 to 5 credits that are arguably better than this already. Like, there are strong event econs and other forms of econ that are just available, and in many cases they can actually make more. Cards like Telework, for example, just print money. Like, there's a ton of money in there. The real issue here is not credit generation, it's sustained credit generation. Going back to DreamNet takes 3 turns to recoup and then starts generating you money, right? And the game being so short means that that's not as good as it once was. By contrast, daily casts, it pays you decently for the moment, and you'll probably run it. Like, it's not that it's not going to see play, it's just that I think this was a safe unban because I don't see a world in which daily cast is a problem. Also, yeah, look at Smoke! Hey girl! Hey, missed you. I love Smoke. I wish Smoke was back. Anyway, moving on. Luminal's banned again. Come make up your minds. What are we doing? Like, we know Luminal was swingy, and that was deemed to be fine a Banlist ago. And probably when it was designed in the first place. That doesn't mean the Banlist needs to swing too. These Banlists are reading like actual games with Luminal in them, where it just swings ridiculously depending on who gets it. I genuinely just, like... I'm not even mad that it's gone, it's just funny at this point. I would absolutely die laughing if they just started giving us back Luminal and taking it away on an alternating cadence for the bit, basically, just for the meme. I do agree that the new HB stuff's gonna be a shot in the arm, from what we know. And Luminal is so entertaining but Luminal, that is an important, that's a load-bearing but, AO, is so entertaining on score and on steal, because you got it and not them, right? So even the runner is like, aha, I got the Luminal, heck yeah, I got the one of. I'm gonna miss it. Again. Maybe it'll come back halfway through the set, who knows? Like, I would love if they just kept flip-flopping on Luminal forever, because I think it's like this weirdly thematic way of handling it. But I also just find it kind of silly that we're re-banning a card. Like, this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth is indicative of NSG looking at the card pool and trying to adapt to where it's going and what it'll need, and I respect the attempt, but this still looks very silly. And Luminal's such a cool card, it's a real shame to constantly have its life be on, well, life support. And we're wrapping on the only card in all of this that I look at, outside of Info Bounty, I guess, which is just kind of generally unexciting, that I'm just like, okay, yeah, I guess, like, you kind of needed to, but you didn't go about this quite how I would like to see it done. So, Excavator, I give up on the first word on this one, sorry. I've always just called it Zv Excavator, or something to that effect, because I don't speak Netrunner. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's one way to hurt Ob again without actually solving the problem. Again, yeah, this is another I tried to warn you situation, except for whatever reason the ID is not deemed to be the issue. Now, they call it out in the article. I do want to be fair to NSG here. They do specifically say that Ob is, like, really, 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 really strong in Standard. And I want to reiterate, when I did the tier lists for Elevation, I called out Sable, Hosh, and Ob as the, like, these are the busted IDs, you need to be careful. It's interesting to see that confirmed and see their response to Hosh and Sable not be the same as Ob. I feel like that is because, not wholly, I do trust their methodology to a point, but I legitimately wonder if this is because Ob is such a singular playstyle that Ob fans are, like, just Ob fans, and they're very on and kind of like, hey, no, please don't take the boat, please, it's the only thing that plays this way, and NSG's really trying not to do that to them, because the rest of Weyland's nothing like Ob, the rest of the card pool's nothing like Ob. Ob is a different game, like, entirely. I get that they want Ob enjoyers to play with the new stuff, but at some point, we have to acknowledge that Ob has a negative effect on the design space of the entire card pool. Every single cost on a card that isn't an operation matters for Ob. Like, you cannot design an asset or an upgrade or an ice or anything without thinking, is this broken in Ob? And that is an absurd filter to have to add in your design process. I don't think this hurdle is worth constantly jumping over. I really think at some point we just need to say goodbye to the boat and be done with it. Having a tutor on an ID that works so reliably and does so much is just not a reasonable thing to do. But in the meantime, we've dinged Svigator, however you say it. That's definitely wrong. If Ob isn't busted at the start of the set, it'll be because everyone's testing other stuff, not because Ob is finally balanced. I don't think it's possible to balance Ob's text. I think the only thing that keeps Ob from total domination is the swinginess and fragility of an Ob deck, and the obtuse play lines. Ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Anyway, that's it. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Hey, yeah, I'm back. Hi, it's been 2 months because I didn't have a lot to talk about, but now I have a lot to talk about. A whole lot. I've got a fair few things cooking, actually. You're going to be seeing more of me for the foreseeable future. And in fact, some of you may already know, I have a card to talk about, but not today. That's for another day. I will, I'll show you what's in the oven later. I'll see ya.